What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to play Resident Evil Requiem with the RX 7700 XT and the Ryzen 5 9600X. The 7700 XT has 12 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory, and the 9600X has 6 cores and 12 threads. I do have an undervolt on the CPU using a curve optimizer in the BIOS with an offset of -20. And I set a temperature limit of 80 degrees Celsius. Other than that, the only thing that's overclocked is nothing's overclocked actually, just the memory. But the memory is running at 5600 mega transfers per second with time is a C of 34, and that is Corsair Dominator Platinum DDR5. So easy day, and yeah, but it's actually rated at 5600 mega transfers per second out of the box with no XMP or nothing like that. So I could probably squeeze about 5800 mega transfers per second out of it, but it's fine at 56, so easy day. All right, so let's jump into settings. We're playing this at 2560 by 1440p on a 180 hertz 32-inch curved monitor from Alienware. So easy day. All right. We're playing with borderless window. HDR modes auto. The capture card is an Avermedia GC553G2. That's why you see that for the display settings there. sRGB, vertical sync or VSync is off. All right. 1440p, variable refresh rate, no motion blur, ray tracing max, hair strands on. Custom graphics for all of these here. Where custom settings for the graphics quality, upscaling quality, and lighting and shadow quality. Get into the advanced graphics here. Texture quality is going to be normal. You can't see too much of a difference between normal and the maximum set and the high. You can just a little bit, but not too much. We're going to use texture filter quality with anisotropic filtering at high at X16. No TAA because of upscaling. Mesh quality will be standard. Screen space reflections on. Subsurface scattering will be high. Some people turn this off, but as you can see the difference here. Now, lens distortion off doesn't look that bad. It actually looks almost the same as chromatic aberration there. So you really can't see too much of a difference with it on and off, so we'll leave it off. Depth of field will be off. You can see the difference here. I prefer that look. All right, we're using FSR 3.1.5. Come on, AMD, let's get that FSR 4 for RDNA3. Easy day. Upscaling is going to be performance. Frame gen, not a fan, but I'm not saying I won't ever use it, but it is getting better. Of course, no NVIDIA reflex low latency. Particle lighting on. Volumetric fog will be normal. You can't see too much of a difference between normal and high. So we'll leave it at normal. Lens dirt on. Can't really see much of a difference there other than you can see the lighting there changes. It gets a little bit brighter there. And you get those little round dots there. So we'll leave that on. I don't think that's too demanding. Lens flare we'll leave standard. Can't really see a difference here with off. Other than how bright it gets on the window. That's off. That's standard. And high. So you can't really see much of a difference between high and standard. So we'll leave it at standard. And shadow quality. You can see somewhat of a difference here. But not too much. So we'll leave that at high. Contact shadows on. I can't see much of a difference here. Well, you can see it on the rocks there with the contact shadows as it moves a little bit. So we'll leave that on. Ambient occlusion, not too much of a difference here. Between normal and high. So we'll leave it at normal. And VFX quality. You see not too much of a difference here either. The blood splatter in there gets bigger. So we'll just leave that as standard. Easy day. All right. Main story, new game, and we'll bring up MSI Afterburner. And it'll be an easy day. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. To God be the glory to wake us up this morning.
Sir.
Nothing's possible without the Father. Easy day. All right. Let's bring them in beside Afterburner. Let's reset it. All right. Getting 57, 58 frames per second. Our 1% low is 56. Our average is 57. Our max is 59. We're using 45% or so of the 9600X at 66C. It is air cooled. Sipping power at 68 watts there. We're getting full GPU utilization at 62C, pulling 207 watts. I saw 213 there for a second. We're using 85% of our VRAM and 45% of our system memory. Frame time graph is not looking that good. But looking in the distance, not distinct, but distance, everything looks good. So this game is well optimized.
Of course.
So you can see the anisotropic filter is doing its job by keeping everything nice and detailed there in the distance.
To the hotel.
Yeah, I got it. Let's look at the raindrops. Raindrops ain't too bad here. As you can move, look at the shadows and everything's moving on the rail there.
Hello? What is...
Should be around here.
Yeah, reflections still look good. Easy day.
You know that.
Shadows look pretty good. Reflections ain't bad there off that sign.
Yeah. Of course.
That sign don't look as detailed though with some of the other video cards that I played with, but easy day. Definitely playable with these settings. And I always try to get the highest settings I can possibly get to get us, you know, close to 60 frames per second. And if I got to lower things here or there, easy day. That neon sign, easy day. This lady having some problems.
This sucks.
The game is a beautiful game. I could play it like this.
So, what happened with the missus?
Oh man, she was pissed. She forgave me in the end.
Is he even touching that?
You got all these. Not gonna do anything stupid like that again, are you?
No, the bricks look detailed.
I'll never do it again.
All right.
Billy, how about you?
And we won't make this too long. All right, we're going to skip this. All right, frame rate came up pretty good here. Since we're no longer out there with all those NPCs and all the cars going by and all the different things that were happening. Yeah, I wouldn't have no problem playing this game like this. Wish the frame time graph was a little bit smoother. The light reflection on that propane tank looks fine. And look, everything looks detailed up there, even with these settings. Off in the distance. All right.
Why am I even here?
Get in and look at this light. None of the video, well, you know what? It don't look too bad. You can still see it's not completely round and symmetrical like it actually should be. You can see it's a little like squared off, you know, with the anti-aliasing there. But, you know, you could walk right past this and not even see it. Like, I've never read this sign before. It says violators will be told at vehicle owner's expense. How you even getting vehicles back here? All right. The bricks look nice and detailed. 1% low is now 52 with an average of 66, a max of 85. All right, let's get inside and we'll finish up this video. All right, now we're getting 70 some frames per second. Glass, nice detail there, easy day. Now that pot is shaped like it's supposed to be shaped, so easy day. So anti-aliasing is working good there. This game just a beautiful game, and it's just well optimized. You know, this would perform, of course, a lot better at 1080p, but I don't have any 1080p monitors. All I've got is 1440p and 4K. That's why for my 5070 Ti and my 9070 XT, the way my setup is that they're connected to LG OLEDs. And that's why I'm always testing those with 4K. I'll probably pick up another actual 1440p monitor, but it has to be HDMI 2.1 in order to use NVIDIA cards to be able to use adaptive sync. Because NVIDIA cards don't work with adaptive sync on HDMI 2.0 displays. It's got to be HDMI 2.1. And I've only got one 1440p HDMI 2.1 monitor, and that's my Alienware 32-inch monitor that I'm actually playing this on now. So I'm planning to pick up another one, and that way I can test the 5070 Ti and still have adaptive sync with HDMI 2.1. So easy day. The AMD card is just fine with adaptive sync and free sync at HDMI 2.0. Easy day. But, you know, I could use NVIDIA card if there were some actual decent capture cards that use DisplayPort, but there ain't no decent capture cards out there that really use DisplayPort, and there's no incentive to actually do that because all the consoles are HDMI. So yeah, there's capture software that you can just use, but I'd rather have a capture card so that the capture card is doing all the work and just using the encoder from whatever video card I'm using. So, you know, you take less of a hit. So easy day. My final plan is to have all the capture cards connected to my workstation PC and let it do all the recording, so I take no hit at all, and then all of the actual gaming PCs. All they have to do is play the game. So, but I've rambled on long enough. We got a low of 52, an average of 72, and a max of 110. I could totally play this game with these settings. Easy day. So we're going to get the key, and then we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I still got to do the 5070 Ti video, which I'll probably do here shortly. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. And come back for the next one. Later.